Hello, today I'm going to discuss human nutrition and the digestive system. We'll be looking at and discussing the structures and functions of the digestive system, the processes of mechanical and chemical digestion, including the optimum conditions for the enzymes involved, and lastly, the constituent food groups of a balanced diet. Firstly, the structures and functions of the digestive system. Simply put, the function of the digestive system is digestion and absorption. Digestion is important as the body requires nutrients from the foods and liquids we consume in order to stay healthy and function. The digestive system works by breaking down and absorbing nutrients from the food and liquids to use them for energy, growth and repairing cells. The body has a digestive tract which allows this to happen. Firstly, the mouth works by mechanically breaking down the food we eat. We do this with our teeth. The incisors bite while the canines tear food into small pieces. Additionally, the tongue mixes food with saliva in a process called mastication, which rolls the food into a bolus to pass it down into the esophagus. The esophagus is about 25 centimeters long, has a covering of elastic fibrous tissue and extends from the pharynx through the diaphragm and into the stomach. Liquids and semi-solids, assisted by gravity, slide down the esophagus, while solids are pushed down by peristalsis, a type of involuntary muscle movement. The liver, located just below the diaphragm, acts as an accessory gland as food does not pass through it as part of the digestion process. However, it produces bile, which leaves the liver via bile ducts and is transported to the gallbladder. Similarly, the gallbladder also acts as an accessory gland. It's a pear-shaped sac attached to the liver and stores the bile made by the liver. The gallbladder secretes bile into the small intestine via those bile ducts and plays a significant role in digesting fat. Next we have the stomach, which is a hollow muscular organ. The stomach receives food from the esophagus and a muscular coat churns the food in the stomach, mixing it with stomach acids and enzymes produced in the stomach lining to break it down and digest. Once mixed, usually 2 to 4 hours after a meal, the churn is pushed into the small intestine. The small intestine is between 6 and 7 meters long and is divided into 3 parts. The duodenum, which causes a chyme to become alkaline and move it along to the jejunum, where it is further broken down into smaller molecules of nutrients for absorption through the walls of the villi, to the final part, the ileum, where what remains is water, electrolytes and waste products. Once through the small intestine, the residue passes to the large intestine, which is only around 1.5 meters long but considerably thicker than the small intestine. The large intestine works to absorb vitamins and convert the food into feces, while also removing the leftover water. The chyme enters the caecum, made up of 4 sections: the ascending colon, where it removes the nutrients and water; the transverse colon, the longest and most movable part of the colon; the descending colon, which stores feces; and lastly, the sigmoid colon, which has a muscular wall that contracts and increases pressure to allow the stool to move into the rectum. The rectum is near the end of the digestive system and acts as a storage space for feces. And lastly, the anal canal, which is a terminal part of the digestive system and where feces is excreted from. Next, we will look at the process of mechanical and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion commences in the mouth, where teeth break down food into digestible pieces through a process of mastication. This process is necessary as our bodies are not able to absorb large macronutrient food molecules. Peristalsis is also part of the mechanical digestion, which is the involuntary contractions of the muscles in the esophagus, intestines and stomach. Mechanical digestion also includes the churning and mixing that takes place in the stomach. Before we look at chemical digestion, it's important to understand what enzymes are. Enzymes are specialised proteins used by the body to catalyse specific chemical reactions. They're used in all metabolic processes and facilitate many changes necessary for life, including digestion, metabolism, and cellular respiration. Now we know what an enzyme is. In terms of chemical digestion, as with mechanical digestion, it begins in the mouth. The brain triggers the secretion of saliva to release enzymes called salivary amylase, which breaks down starches into sugars in the mouth. Chemical digestion takes place throughout digestion, and many enzymes play an important role in this process, as detailed on the image next to me, not just in the mouth but within the stomach and small intestine. In the stomach, an enzyme called pepsin is released to break down large peptides, and in the small intestine, sucrase, lactase and maltase are released to break down different molecules into glucose. Additionally, an enzyme called pancreatic lipase, which is produced in the pancreas and released into the small intestine, breaks down and aids in the digestion of lipids. Each perform best at their optimum conditions. In terms of enzymes, this relates to temperature or pH levels. The optimum temperature for enzymes is the human body temperature, which is around 37.5 degrees Celsius. This means if you have a fever and your body temperature increases too much, the enzyme will stop working, whereas if the body is too cold, the enzyme will work too slowly. pH level, however, varies dependent on where in the body the enzyme is. Pepsin, which we know is secreted in the stomach to break down protein, works best in a low acidic pH range of between 1.5 and 1.6. This is because at low pH, the carboxylic acid group is protonated, which allows it to catalyse the chemical reaction of breaking chemical bonds. If the pH level raises above 2, pepsins will become inactive and will no longer work. Pancreatic lipase, which as discussed is produced in the pancreas before being secreted into the small intestine where it breaks down and digests fat, on the other hand, works best between 7 and 9 with an optimum alkaline pH level of 8. An increase in a pH beyond the optimum causes a rapid decrease in enzyme activity. Looking at the constituent food groups of a balanced diet, as shown in the image here, there are 5 key food groups that the body needs to maintain a healthy and balanced diet. These foods are categorised together as they share similar properties and nutritional content. The image also shows the portion size for each group. As you can see, the body needs a lot of fruit, vegetables and carbohydrates, while only a very tiny amount of oils and spreads. By controlling portion size, we only eat what the body needs rather than overindulging. Let's take a look at these foods in a little more detail. Firstly, protein, which is found in meat, poultry, fish, nuts, beans and pulses, is essential for a healthy diet. Proteins are referred to as the building blocks of the body, as they aid in the build of muscles as well as work to build and repair tissues. They're also involved in metabolism and fluid balance. Additionally, proteins can be used for energy, however it's preferred for energy to come from carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can be found in potatoes, bread, pasta, rice, preferably whole grain, which provides good quantities of vitamins, minerals and dietary fibre. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of energy as they provide glucose, which is converted into the energy needed to support bodily functions and physical activity. Next, fruit and vegetables, which has so many sources from apples to carrots to broccoli. They're a good source of vitamins and minerals, including folate, vitamin C and potassium. They also provide dietary fibre and help to reduce the risk of heart disease and some cancers. Dairy is another important food group. Food sources include milk, cheese and butter. Dairy provides a huge amount of calcium, which helps to maintain healthy teeth and strong bones. Oils and spreads are also essential to a balanced diet in small quantities, as they provide the body with essential fatty acids that the body cannot make itself and help us to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E and K. Lastly, we have water, which though not a food, is essential for life. Water engages in all processes and functions in the body, including transporting nutrients around the body, ridding the body of waste products through urine, supporting chemical reactions and preventing dehydration. Approximately 1.5 to 2 litres of fluid is needed to be consumed each day, with at least half of this coming from pure H2O. To conclude, the digestive system is vital for energy growth and repairing the cells in the body. The digestive tract is made up of different organs, each performing a specific role to aid the process of digestion and absorption. Both mechanical and chemical digestion are essential for our bodies to digest both macro and micronutrients throughout the process of digestion. Chemical digestion is not possible without the necessary enzymes, and these enzymes require certain temperatures and pH ranges to function at an optimum level. And lastly, a balanced diet comprised of the 5 food groups and water is vital for maintaining a healthy lifestyle and healthy weight.